So in this lesson, we will be talking about three different types of angles: vertical, supplementary, and complementary angles. Let's talk about vertical angles first. Vertical angles are angles that are opposite from each other and have the same measure. So in our example to the right, we have a pair of vertical angles ABC and angles DBE. To know which angle it's talking about, just follow the three letters A, B, C, D, B, E, and that'll show you the location of your angle. So these two angles form a pair, and this pair of angles are congruent since they have the same measure. Next is supplementary angles. Anytime you have two angles that are supplementary, their measures should add up to 180 degrees. In the example on the right, we have angle ABD and angle DBE. Now these angles are not congruent because they're supplementary. Supplementary means that they equal 180. So if you were to add these two pink angles together, they should equal 180. Next is complementary angles. Two angles are complementary if they add together to equal 90 degrees. So in the second picture on the right, the one at the bottom, we have angle WXZ, which we know is 45 degrees, and angle ZXY, which is also 45 degrees. These two angles should add up to 90 degrees. Now these two angles happen to be congruent, but that is not necessarily going to happen every time you have a pair of complementary angles. The only way it can happen is if they're both 45. So keep that in mind, that they're not necessarily congruent, but that they do add together to equal 90 degrees. The final term is bisector. A bisector divides an angle into two equal pieces. So in that same example, XZ would be our bisector of that angle since it cuts it in half. So the green part there, that's the bisector. All right, so now what I would like you to do is to go through and solve the following questions. Thanks for watching this video and completing this lesson. Next, you will do the Lesson 1.5 Transversals Edpuzzle video. After completing that video and lesson, you will do the Lesson 1.4 and 1.5 assessment on Edge Elastic.